stop learning. You know how learning invites growth? I'm going to tell you why that's wrong, what you can do instead, and how learning how to drive in the backcountry of Oregon on a stick shift when I was a kid taught me a lesson about diabetes management. Let's get into our theme song. I've spent the last 10 years pushing the limits while identifying trends and patterns in my type 1 diabetes management. Follow along as I learn, apply, and share the fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle strategies that I've learned from diabetes experts around the world. The real question is, how can we live fearlessly with diabetes while maintaining stable blood sugars? This podcast is here to give you the answer. My name is Matt Vandevecht, head coach and co-founder of FTF Warrior, and welcome to Pardon My Pancreas. So when I was a kid, when I was younger, one of the first memories that I have of learning how to drive was in the backcountry of Oregon. I was driving my uncle's pickup truck, and it was a stick shift, driving through these, uneven terrains, up mountainsides, through dried up riverbeds. There were loose rocks, there was mud, there were trees to look out for. Everybody thinks about driving and learn how to drive. Typically it's in a parking lot sitting on your mom or your dad's lap. All you do is the steering wheel. It's super simple, right? While I did have that, this was my first real dive into driving, and it was no paved roads. People weren't following the rules. There were wildlife surrounding me. There was trees in the way that I had to circumnavigate and get out of the way and go up and down hills. It was difficult. Now, this was like the wet season in Oregon, right? And the ground was wet. There were occasional spots of mud. I wouldn't say that it was a landslide, but if you stopped, you might slide backwards. So you had to keep moving. You had to keep your momentum going. And what I've noticed, not only in driving, but in life in general, as you hold on to momentum, as you keep moving forward, it's easier to maintain that momentum than it is to start from a standstill, right? Now, if I had tried to start from a standstill in mud, in a pickup truck, do you think I would have gone anywhere? Especially as a novice driver, right? No, it would have been difficult. I would have been applying the gas, right? The RPMs would have been going up, but I wouldn't have been moving. Look outside the window. Well, the trees aren't moving. Something's wrong. I don't know what, because I'm putting the gas pedal down, until I would realize I'm in mud. The wheels are spinning, right? I'm doing what I thought was correct, but there was a piece missing. And that piece is taking action, getting out of the car, stepping in the mud, which, might be messy, it might be gross, it's uncomfortable, but applying, maybe a piece of wood or a log under the tire, giving some traction so you can climb out of the mud and then gather that momentum and then continue moving forward. Now, in a similar manner with life, as driving through mud, like I said, momentum is easy to keep, or easier to keep, but getting started from that standstill, especially in mud, the tires are spinning. And oftentimes we get stuck in a rut, in this mud pit. In life, and I'm going to bring this into diabetes as well, when we try to learn. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say learning is stupid. Learning is important, but it's only the first step, right? Understanding what's going on in life, understanding why your blood sugars are doing what they're doing. It's great to understand and to learn, but that's still only the first step, okay? Now, today I kind of want to dive into a bit of mindset. So we're going to kind of take the lessons we learned in the last couple of episodes. We went over insulin on board, we went over micromanaging diabetes, we went over basal bolus correction. Those are all bits of information, which is super important. But information without action is essentially useless. You can read all the books in the world, but if you never take action on what you learn, useless. You feel good about yourself, right? Oh, I know everything, which you will never know everything. The second you know everything, or you think you know everything, is the moment you start to fail. Okay, nobody knows everything about any topic at all. But think about that for a second. You can read books for years, a book a week, a book a day. But if you do not put into action the things that you learn from those books, it's useless. Let that soak in for a second, right? If you read every book there is on diabetes, you learn how to control blood sugar, you learn how to eat properly, you learn how to exercise, you learn what the possible causes of type 1 diabetes are, you learn all these different things, But if you never put into action the things that you learn, if you never document your blood sugars, if you never test your blood sugars, if you don't actually eat healthy and watch what you're eating, right? Take the right insulin for the carbs, for the fats, for the proteins, you will never see an improvement in your diabetes, in your blood sugars, right? Management, you have to actually put into action. You can't just think it and say, yeah, I know exactly what to do. I'm gonna sit right here and wish it into existence, right? I'm gonna manifest it and it should happen for me. No, it's not going to happen. You have to put in the work. This is a key component of our program. Okay, in our program Diabetes in Action, one of the first lessons that I teach is that you can learn everything that I know, everything that I teach in our program for stable and predictable blood sugars through any activity, exercise, or meal. It's all good and dandy. It's great to know that stuff. But if you do not do what I teach you to do, it's useless. You're wasting your time, you're wasting my time. Okay? If you do not put into action the things that you learn, whether it's through reading, whether it's through a coach or a program like what we offer, if you do not put that knowledge into action, it's useless. I see people asking me all the time, right? Matt, what are the book recommendations that you have? What's the best book to read for this topic, right? The diets, the exercises, all this stuff. It's great to learn. I love that people want to learn. I love learning. But I've gotten stuck in this rut too many times before to let you fall into the same trap. I want you to understand that I've read countless books on many topics, right? Diabetes, personal development, entrepreneurship, the Bible, like all these different things in life, different topics that I wanted to learn about. And I have learned, but I noticed that I got stuck in this trap of not applying the knowledge that I gained. What happened? Years later, you look back and go, oh my goodness, I'm in the same spot that I was years ago. Only thing that's changed is that I have the knowledge now of what I should have been doing this whole time. What I should have been doing. You don't want to be in a place where you regret not taking action. Years wasted. I've been there. Looking back and going, dang, I thought that I needed to keep learning. I thought that I had to wait for that perfect moment, that perfect opportunity. There is no perfect moment. There is no perfect opportunity. You have to take action. If you're going to pull one thing away from this, let's think back to that story, right? You're driving through the mud. You have momentum. You stop to learn. Now you're stuck in the mud. You go to learn more. You push the gas, right? You think that's what you're supposed to do. You hit the gas, RPM's going up, the engine sounds are going, but you're not going anywhere. You're not creating movement. Why? Because you don't want to step outside of the car. It's uncomfortable to step in mud. No one wants to do that. It's uncomfortable to take action. I'd much rather sit right here in my chair, read some books, and then set them down and enjoy my day. But you know what? That's going to get me nowhere. In order to see change, you have to create it for yourself. That might be documenting your blood sugars. All right, let's go over our last couple of episodes. That might be testing your basal insulin. That takes effort. That's not easy. Okay, that's the first lesson in our program because you have to identify how much insulin you need to take. Without that knowledge, you don't know what to do. But in order to gain that knowledge, you have to test. You have to fast. You have to experiment and document and identify where you need increase in basal, where you need decrease in basal, so you can fine tune it, right? But if you don't take action, if all you do is learn the process of testing for basal, testing for bolus, testing for correction factors, if all you do is learn the process, you're going to be in the exact same spot you were when you started, right? First step is understand. Learn. It is important. You do have to have that knowledge base, but that's what it is. It's a base, right? Now you have to take action. Step out of the car, into the mud. It's going to be gross. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to like it at first, right? But growth comes from being uncomfortable. I promise you, procrastination is the assassination of motivation. Do not let the perfect scenarios ruin the results that you could have. Get out of the car, step in the mud, pull out a plank of wood or a log, shove it under the tire, and create that momentum for yourself. Stop spinning your tires, stop applying gas and doing what you think is the right thing because you're procrastinating. Stop procrastinating the action that will inevitably lead to your success. You know what to do. I've been teaching. You've been listening to these podcast episodes, watching these videos. You probably follow me on social media. Stop listening and start doing. I want this change for you, but you have to create it yourself. I cannot do that for you. That's what I coach my type 1 diabetic clients on. I cannot create change in your life. You have to make that choice yourself, right? I can teach you everything I know, but ultimately, it is up to you and you alone to take action with that knowledge. If you don't take action, nothing else I can do for you. These episodes are useless. They can't help you. But if you take these episodes, take the knowledge that I give you, take knowledge from other sources and implement, that is when you will see results start happening. You'll build that momentum. It'll cause this snowball effect. You'll start achieving greater and greater and greater things in your life. Diabetes gets easier. You get that job promotion. You're able to spend time with your family, creating lasting memories, living life happily and healthy. All of that is possible, but only when you implement on what you've learned. Okay? So, make sure that in addition to learning, you can read the books. You should. You can listen to these episodes, watch these episodes, jump into our courses, into our programs. But if all you do is learn, you will not achieve. I need you to implement on what you learn. All right? That's a little bit of a mindset one for you guys. We'll get back to the diabetes side of things next week. We'll jump into exercise shortly. Exercise is a fun one to chat about, but I want to make sure that you understand I can feed you information all day long. I thoroughly enjoy teaching, okay? But it means nothing to you if you do not take action. That's all I got for you guys. If you want more information on our program for stabilizing and predicting blood sugars, we do have a coaching program that I lead myself. We hop on calls every week. It's amazing, and we see some incredible results for our type 1 diabetic clients. However, you do have to apply, and we do not accept everyone. Make sure it's a good fit for both of us, okay? So if you want the free training that leads into the application, it's a multi-step process. We vet everyone. If you want the free training that we have, it's an hour-long video that I did for you. Head over to diabetesinaction.com. Watch the hour-long training. If you're vibing with what I'm putting down, if you like the training and the style of coaching that I have, then you can apply and we'll see if it's a good fit for you, all right? So head over to diabetesinaction.com. I'll see you there. Have an awesome day and keep up the fight.